Here is lesson 3 for math 3. We on unit 5, we're going to be talking about adding and subtracting radicals. Okay, so the big thing when we're talking about adding and subtracting radicals, when we added, like, say, we had x squared minus x, and we wanted to add that with 3x squared minus 7. When we did stuff like this, we only combined like terms, right? So if we cannot simplify a radical so that they're exactly the same, we cannot add them together, right? We can't do the square root of 3 plus the square root of 5. That is the big takeaway from today's lesson. If you can understand that, we're golden. Now it's just trying to get some practice in, right? So for the first one, we have to express this in simplest radical form, right? So it says negative 7 times the square root of 3 minus the square root of 3, okay? So there is 1 square root of 3 here, right? So if I'm starting with negative 7, if you owe me 7, if I have negative 7 square root of 3's and I'm subtracting 1 from it, I'm just going to end up with negative 8 square root of 3's, right? That's an easy example, okay? Treat it like it's an x. If I had negative 7 x's and I'm subtracting an x, I would have negative 8 x's. The same thing, okay? So now they're not the same thing. We might be able to simplify. So let's take a look at that 48, right? So if I go over here, 48 can be written as 4 times 12, and 12 can be written as 4 times 3. We can pull out a 4, and we're going to be left with 4 square root of 3. And this is all times negative 10. Well, this should just be negative 40 times the square root of 3, right? So this is like saying negative square root of 3 minus 40 square root of 3. So to recap, I broke down this part here, right? So I broke that down into 4 times the square root of 3. But that's not where we started. We had negative 10 times the square root of 48, right? So this is like saying, hey, I have negative 10 times 4 times the square root of 3. Well, negative 4 times negative 10 is negative 40, right? So again, it's the same thing. We have square root of 3 in both of these, so we can now combine them. Okay, so if I have negative 1 and I want to subtract 40 from it, I'm going to get negative 41 square root of 3. That's example, the second one, right? So sometimes we're not going to have to simplify. Sometimes we're going to have to simplify one. Sometimes we might have to simplify both. Okay, so let's take a look at this. Okay, so we have 175. Well, that's like saying I have 25 times, that would be 7. And the square root of 25 is just 5, right? So over here, let's do 112. I am blanking, so let's just start with 2, right? I can't think of anything other than 2. I think 4 could work into it as well. So let's just do this, though. 2 times, well, 2 goes into 10 5 times, and we have 12 left over, so we have 56. Again, we can do 2 times, this would be, well, 5 times this would be 2. With 1 left over, and 16 goes into, so 2 goes into 16 8 times. Yes, so 56 divided by 2 is, yeah, another way to do this. I'm gonna cheat a little bit. We can keep going. 28 divided by 2, this is going to be 2 times 14, and we know that this is 2 times 7, right? So again, I can, as I'm looking at this, right, let's rewrite this. We have 3 times the square root of 5 times 5 times 7 plus 8 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 7. Okay, so zoom on this part. I'm looking for pairs, right? So I have a pair of 5s, I have a pair of 2s in this problem, and a pair of 2s in this problem. So we can say 3 times 5 square root of 7 plus 8 times, we have 2 2's square root of 7. Let's simplify this. So this is 3 times 5 is 15. 8 times 2 is 16. 16 times 2 is 32 square root of 7. The nice thing is we have both of them have square root of 7s, right? So now we're just combining them, right? So we're just going to do 15 plus 32, which would be, well, 5 plus 2 is 7. And then we have 1 plus 3 is 4. So we have 47 square root of 7. Okay. So sometimes you have to simplify one, like I was saying. Sometimes you have to simplify both. Sometimes you have to simplify none, right? So just check before you move on to the next problem, okay? On the back side, we can do this with variables, right? Same idea, just try and simplify it, right? So I can rewrite this as we have 7 times, this is going to be 2 times x 3 times, and then over here we're going to have plus x times 2 times x, right? We can't simplify the right side, but the left side we possibly can simplify because I can pull out an x. So we're going to have 7x square root of 2x plus x square root of 2x. Okay. Okay. So again, we have an x. We don't have an x squared, but we have an x, right? We have a square root of 2x. So these, in all intents and purposes, are the same thing, right? So I have 7 of, it doesn't matter what it is, as long as it's the same, and 1 of these. So I combine these, and I'm going to get 8x square root of 2x. And we're done. Okay, so again, don't let all the variables freak you out. Don't let the square roots freak you out. Try and get them to match. If they match, you can combine them. Okay, down here. So I'm going to use the tree method again. We have 28. This is just going to be 4 times 7, and we have 2 times 2, right? 63 is divisible by 9. That's going to be 7 times 9. That's going to be 3 times 3, okay? We also have, we're looking at x squared. So this would be like saying we can pull out an x here, and we can pull out 2 x's here, right? So this is going to turn into, let's write the factors out. We have x times 2 times 2 times 7, and then we have 2 x's. And then we're going to minus 4 times 3 times 3 times 7. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4 x's, right? So if you're not sure where I'm getting x's, right, I'm just looking here and here. 2 gets us 2. We have 4 gets us 4, okay? Let me go ahead and erase those lines. Okay, so now I'm just trying to simplify, okay? I have, let's do this from red. We can pull out a pair of 2's, we can pull out a pair of x's, we can pull out a pair of 3's, and 2 x's, okay? So we're going to have x times 2 times x square root of 7 minus 4. Oops. I can pull out a 3. We can pull out 2 x's, so we'll have x squared, and inside our square root is still 7, okay? So let's simplify both of these. X times x is going to be x squared, and then we have negative 4 times 3 is going to be negative 12x squared. So again, I'm looking for these to match. We have an x squared and an x squared, 7 and a square root of 7 in the same term, right? So I can combine my 2 and the negative 12. So we're going to get negative 10 x squared square root of 7, and we are done. Okay, trying to get them to match, and then you can combine like terms.